Hello everybody, welcome to Historical Films, and in this episode I am going to talk about my experience on The Price is Right. Yes.
Here it comes from Hollywood, television's most exciting hour. It's The Price is Right.
Yes, The Price is Right. I decided to use this video to talk about experience because I thought I would use this as a kind of guide to what to expect. I didn't know what to expect, even though you hear stories or there's that famous documentary on Netflix, The Perfect Bit. Even with using that and reviewing that, you still don't know what to expect when you go on the show. So I thought, hey, I figured out as I went along and decided other people might have the same questions too. So I guess let's start off with how I got on the show. I guess it all started because sometimes you get ads to events or to tickets or places that you can go to, and one day, I don't know how, I randomly got an ad to The Price is Right. So I thought, hey, I've always wanted to go on a TV show. You never know if you win or not, so hey, why not? Just the experience and everything. So I booked a ticket, and unfortunately, when you film, it's only on the weekdays. We went, and when we arrived there, it was pretty easy to check in everything. They had to do a background check. They had to make sure that your ID matched your name. You had to make sure you brought an ID because they gave you those instructions online. So they just want to make sure that you're good, and they gave us a paper asking if you've won money within a certain amount of time. So I guess if you won a certain amount of money, you can't win that amount again. So that makes me wonder what happens if you do win. Maybe that's a way for them to not choose you to go on stage. I don't know, I just thought that right now. Anyways, so after you check in from the outside, they give you these really cool stickers to put on your chest that says your name in the same font as the Bob Barker days. And they give you a little paper at the end as a souvenir to make sure you keep it. So once you get your sticker and once you walk through the hallways, you are then put into this room where they call it the green room. I guess you would call it the green room. And that's where they actually scan your IDs and make sure that you are you and make sure there's, I guess, nothing sketchy with your background. And you sit down, and that's where you kind of get to talk to other people, and they figure your vibe, and they just play music, just to lighten up the mood, to make everybody excited. And then you're waiting there for a little bit, just kind of like talking to your neighbors, kind of talking to amongst your groups that you've been sat with. And over time, they start bringing in groups of people to another room. And in that room, person asking every single person in like a line of 10 people around what they do for a living, where they're from, everything along those lines. And I think this is kind of like the interview process in a way, because I feel in this, what they were trying to do is figure out if you were, happy to be on camera, if you are an interesting person. I honestly, looking back now, I don't know what they exactly look for, because our group of people were all very happy people. There was no red flags at all with any of the people in our group. So I'm not really sure what they look for. I guess at that moment too, it's all a matter of luck. So after that, they put us back in the green room. And then once the green room, once they got everybody from the green room in that separate room, they played an episode of The Price is Right, like a previous episode, to kind of review the kind of potential games they're gonna have on the show. So that was kind of cool because it kind of put you in the mindset, hey, you're actually gonna be on the TV show. When you're there, you don't really believe it. you kind of think, oh, I'm just in this random room, I'm watching TV, I'm with people. Hey, you don't really feel it yet. So once everybody got interviewed and once they were playing that episode, we were finally told to come in. So we left that green room, and then afterwards they led us single file line to another section of the studio, which, by the way, their studio lot used to be in the CBS studio lot, and unfortunately it got moved over to another studio, and now it's located in Glendale. I hope one day they take it back, because that's where originally where Bob Barker was and everything. Anyways, they took it part of that studio, and they put you in another line to get checked in one by one. So, and that's where the sound stages are. And once you start entering the sound stage into where they have to seat you for the actual show, oh my gosh, it's very surreal. It's surreal because you've seen this set so many times, and actually it looks a little different than what you're used to from the Bob Barker one. But when you go in there, it's just surreal. It's all brightly lit colors. You see the stage, you see the seats, and it's definitely a lot smaller than what they make it look like on TV. I can tell you that much. But it's still surreal. I kept telling myself, you know, pinch me, I must be dreaming, because you don't really believe it. So once they start putting in the people in the set, they start separating people into groups of 2s, 3s, and 4s. I'm not really sure what they were also looking for in that section. We give them our party number, a party of 2 I was, and they put us in the front, I guess closest to the camera and closest to where people do their bids. And the other people they put in the back. So I'm not really sure their qualifications for that. That's when they actually started the show. They kind of had us waiting there a little bit, played some music again, and then I forget how much time after that, but then that's when George Gray came out. George Gray is the announcer of this season with Jim Carey, and he was a super nice guy, very, very talkative with his guests. When he was doing his little warm-up jokes, he would pick on people from the audience and ask, hey, who's been here before? And just asking just random questions just to get to know the audience. So he was really cool. And then after that, I think the models were starting to come out to set up too, and then obviously all the crew were setting up all the cameras and the lighting. And then after that, Drew Carey came out. And I have to tell you, Drew Carey is the exact kind of person that you see on TV. He was a super nice guy. He was very approachable, but I mean, obviously we can't go on the set and talk to him like that, but he came to the people in the front rows and kind of was doing his little warm-up to make sure that he does his jokes good. After some of the episode passed by, around the middle of the show, like when they had to do some commercial breaks, Drew will come in and out. I guess to go in the back to get like a drink of water or whatever he needed to do. And then at one point he decided to get to know people in the front. And what was so fascinating about it was he was going to certain people in the front and you just didn't know if he was going to go to you or not. So he finally came to us, and then he asked my boyfriend, hey, what's your name? And he gave him his name and told him where he worked. And then he just started asking us like other questions, like, oh, what are you into? We told him what we were into. And then he asked how we met and everything, and it was really cool. And then he started talking about, oh, if you watch any good movies lately. I think that was the question that he asked. And then because I'm such a huge film nerd, I told him if we were actually watching this movie called Heartbeeps. For those who don't know, Heartbeeps is a pretty bizarre movie to say the least, with Andy Kaufman as a live robot. But that's the one we thought of because that's the last movie we were watching. And he was just in shock. He's like, "Huh, what is that movie?" And then what was surprising was George Gray recognized that movie. So it was like all four of us having this conversation about this one obscure random movie. And that's when Drew Carey said, "Oh my gosh, you guys must love watching TCM. I love that stuff. I love TCM." So I said, "Yeah, me too." So that's how we were able to connect so well with them. And yeah, he was a very nice person. Him, George Gray, it was amazing. It was great. After the episode was over, you know, you're a little disappointed that you didn't get chosen, but you know, there's always next time. And then George Gray even said, "We want you guys to come back." But what was so amazing, what happened to me, was that he wanted to still pick somebody to give away more money. And something I forgot to mention, that not only we got a name tag with our name on it, but we also got a number. Each person got an individual number. So after the show, George decided, hey, let's call out a number, see we were gonna choose, and we're gonna give you guys $100. For some reason I thought he said 1,000, but I later connected the dots. Oh, 100, okay. So he went on the stage. This was already after when the show was taped. He went on the stage. They brought out a lottery type of thingy, the little ones, a little cage thing that has like a lot of tiny little balls. He rolled it, and then he went in and he chose a ball. He looked at it, and it was my number. He said, 61. Who is 61? My eyes lit up as if I won $1 million, you know? I said, "Oh my gosh, I actually won. And so what I did was I jumped on the stage as if I got on The Price is Right, and I gave him a huge hug, and he was like, "Congratulations." And so, because I told him on the stage, I never win anything, so the fact that I even won this small little prize, I was super grateful, and I was so happy. And then he even said, "Oh, it was very nice to meet you," and everything on the stage. And so after that, he left. They led me to the back to claim my prize for the check, and I actually I didn't get it immediately. I had to actually sign a form, like a W-2. Oh, I had to sign a W-2. That's what I had to do. And I had to wait until they aired the episode, which was October 11, to receive the check. And so I thought, okay, that was kind of strange, because I thought it was going to be like a cash type of thing. But no, I guess they have to account for everything. And so I was, again, grateful that I even won something, because not everybody wins anything. And after that, you left the stage, and they asked if you guys want to do a second taping, because that was one taping, and it ended around, I would say 1:30, before 2 for sure. And they asked if you want to do another one, and it's your choice to re-line yourself in the line to go to the second taping.